Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of agricultureinformation.com, I'd like to invite the speaker, Dr. K Raghavendra Rao, Jayaraghavendra Rao, who will talk about terrace gardening, myths and realities. I now request the speaker to begin. Thank you.
Okay, as usual, sincere thanks to agriinformation.com who has given this opportunity to me. So today we talk about terrace garden myths and realities. So now you'll be wondering why this particular topic has come today. And yesterday, somebody was asking, sir, what is the rationality of giving lectures here? See, there should be a current problem in mind, and then there should be a current solution also, which any ICR institutes like IIHR would have got. Why this issue came today is, see, I stay in a flat called Concord Spring Meadows, and there are so many flats in and around Bangalore, you must have seen. And they charge maintenance, they have a terrace garden, they have an ambience, they have a small park in the flat systems. Similarly, in the hotels, in the hospitals as well. Okay, even in and around temples. I keep seeing many of my relatives who are into this landscaping. Okay, see, a temple is having a different landscape. Okay, a hospital has a different landscape, a flat dwelling system has a different landscape, a school will have a different ambience. So therefore what I wish to say is, terrace gardening, or you call it as landscaping, floriculture, you can name it in any way, but today everywhere there is an ambience. A church will have a different ambience. A mosque will have a different ambience. So, different vegetation which is going to invoke the particular sentiment is going to be planned. So, I'll be going in detail, okay, when I go to the subsequent slides. That IAHR has got a division of floriculture and medicinal and aromatic crops. Dr. Naveen Kumar is the head. He was also one of my students. And then we work on all this landscaping, and many of my slides are derived from IIHR. I sincerely thank IIHR. Okay, our director, Dr. Behra, presently, then Professor Naveen Kumar, the head of the Floriculture Division. So now, very quickly we go. This is all about myself and all that. Okay. Yeah, now, why should you have a green roof? Why should you have a regular roof? See, now you see this particular slide, you will understand that if the roof is very plain, okay, it will start deteriorating faster. A greenery around the roof will also reduce the temperature. It will increase the life of the roof. Okay, and then obviously because of evapotranspiration, you see this graph here, which I've shown you, how you know that the humidity, the temperature are maintained at a room temperature of 25 degrees. Whereas, so that will also make people to sit in a roof, okay, increase the life of the roof, and also have an ambience there. So the scientific rationale is here. And before I start this lecture, I wish to tell you that all plants, okay, they respire during the night. That means in the night, if you sit around trees or any of the screens, okay, it will be warmer. Only the photosynthesis occurs before 11 o'clock in the morning. So obviously the morning is going to be very cool, and then the entire day temperature is going to be controlled if you have a vegetation. So therefore, when should you go to a garden? You will be asking me. You should go to a garden in the morning. You should never be in a garden in the night. So please understand the basic physiology of plants. So now very quickly we do. See, to do a terrace garden, I'll show you one Dr. Pichai Muthu. He's our principal scientist at IAHR. He works in the vegetable division. Okay, he has made a very fantastic terrace garden on his 30-40 site. He has built 2 floors. He grows his own vegetables and all that. And look, this is the logic behind. So initially, you will have a waterproofing roof construction. You will have a protection layer. You will have a drainage layer. You will have a filter sheet, and then you'll have a growing medium like cocoa peat. Of course, nobody uses the soil in a terrace garden because we say it is soilless cultivation. At the most, you can use some humus, humic acid, cocoa peat, and these sort of materials. Never use soil. And in some of the flat system, okay, I see that they have put actual soil, which is going to change the rhizosphere, the microflora and fauna, and obviously when you put a tree or something like champaka, okay, the sampige, okay, all these trees, they have a very big taproot system, and nobody will ever put Ficus bengalensis and Ficus religiosa, the great banyan tree. Nobody is going to use these for the terrace garden. These are all some small scientific things. At the most, you can use the Australian grass, okay, the tomatoes and things like that. Okay, now I'll quickly go and see these are some of the layers. Okay, this is called as the non-penetrative layer, and this is how the thin mulch sheets are going to be put, so that the terrace or the cement structure or the RCC, the reinforced cement concrete, should not be damaged. And then see, this is how these structures are very basic. So what I wish to say is, whether you are a flat or you are a hospital, you are a temple, okay, you are a church, you are a mosque, okay, you are a school, the basic thing is insulating the actual building with these sort of materials is very important. Then you'll obviously have a drainage layer, so that any amount of rainfall, whatever the plants, see, for example, this is an Australian grass, so it absorbs the moisture and the rest should be drained out. And the drained water should obviously be linked with your rainwater harvesting terrace, and then the slope, and then it should be collected there. So that is a very fundamental science here. And don't think, okay, terrace garden is something where people will start putting the plants. Similarly, there were so many people who were actually feeding the pigeons. So yesterday I read the BBMP, uh, our article, which says that by feeding pigeons, okay, you invite lot of influenza, flu, and other diseases, and it is banned. So therefore, kindly understand what should be done, what should not be done, and everything has got a scientific base. That is the issue of telling here. Now, a lot of geotextile material like fleece is going to be used. On that, you are going to put this Australian grass or whatever. Okay. And I have seen our own colleague, Dr. Pichai Muthu, and our other scientists, they have developed a lot of vegetables, cucurbits. See, everywhere they use a concrete box or they use polybags. See, I had a project called as, okay, Arka Nutri Garden for augmenting midday meal scheme in Karnataka. See, where actually I made all the students, who are about 200 students in a school, to grow vegetables for 200 days, because each child requires around 300 grams of vegetables per day. And then, if he's eating only one meal a day in the school, he requires about 150 grams. So, on an average, we require about 45 kilos of vegetables in a school. So, therefore, I have given them grow bags. Grow bags also come in different things. Okay, it comes in 12-inch grow bags, 14-inch grow bags. The depth of the grow bags are going to differ. Suppose you grow a vegetable like radish, you should have a deeper grow bag. You grow something like amaranthus, where the root system is less, whereas the leafy system is more. Okay, you can have a shallow grow bag. So people also use cement or deep concrete boxes. Okay, all these things are there. People have even grown grafted mangoes, chiku, guava, pomegranate, drumstick also. But a word of caution, okay, I told you even hibiscus, nerium, jasmine, okay, tuberani montana, all these are grown. But please remember to be very scientific, and the root structure does not damage your actual RCC structure. That is a very fundamental issue I wish to tell right at this stage. See, for example, even if a ficus, that means, the great banyan tree, if it is growing even next to your building, it has to be removed with a 2,4-D or whatever. I'll tell you how to get rid of that. Okay, only the friendly crops or friendly trees which will not damage your structure have to be used. Okay, I'll very quickly go. And then even amaranthus, lettuce, spinach, cluster bean, cauliflower, all are transplanted, and then these are the different duration from sowing to harvest. Okay, year round you can make use of this. And remember, terrace garden is not only for landscape. If it is, it can be used even for your own kitchen garden, to get your vegetables, to get your tulsi flowers or whatever it is, based on the religious consideration. So, for example, I was in Hyderabad. There one particular resort has. They used to have Kartika Vanabhojanamu. That means, however is your Navagraha situated, they are having the Navagraha plants. Okay, the Ficus bengalensis is depicting the sun, and then the gooseberry is depicting something. You can just get into that. I will also share later. So, whatever is your Navagraha plants, they have been grown exactly on that, and they charge you around 600 rupees or 700 rupees a plate. So, during the month of Kartika Masa, okay, that is at the end of the Chaturmasa, people go for this Kartika Vanabhojanam. So, all such agri-tourism, ethno-tourism, okay, religious tourism you call it, all these where the terrace garden and these sort of gardens are going to be used. Now, people, I told you in the grow bags we have grown beetroot, bitter gourd, brinjals. Okay, obviously I'll tell you how to put it in the pro trace. See, normally brinjal and tomato, they are all first the seedlings are developed in the pro trace. Okay, and then later on they are transplanted after 15 days. So these are all chili also the same thing. These are all some fundamentals of horticulture. I will not be teaching you horticulture today. Now you see there is a Terrace Garden of India. It is one of the companies which do architecture, interior, landscape for various flats, hospitals, and all that. I've shared the website address, the phone number, and everything is there here. I'll have a little bit of water. So therefore, you look at the right side, the ambience created. There's a small tree, there's a grass, there's a flower. And remember, nothing is going to penetrate the building and spoil the ambience. Look at all this, how they have developed. These are all very professional people. That is exactly where IAHR trains people in vertical garden, okay, terrace garden, okay, we say soilless cultivation. Dr. Kalaivanan and my friends, and even I have used soilless cultivation. We can come down to IAHR. On the back side of the building, you see there, okay, we have got our National Horticulture Fair area where we use only grow bags and other things and nothing to do with soil. So we have an entire division which works on soilless cultivation, which are the fundamental principles we work on the terrace garden. Now, look at this ambience. You see the lawn, you see the landscape, you see the design. Simply by building and putting light, you don't get a beauty there. Okay, a person or an individual may look beautiful, but by putting the appropriate dress, okay, in an appropriate time, okay, you accentuate the landscape and make it look much more beautiful. And look at how all these things are there. It's worth to watch. Don't you feel like going into any of these restaurants? See, suppose you go to a temple, you go to Tirupati, okay, you go to a church, whatever. See, look at the ambience which is created there, okay. Even in and around Tirupati, okay, the forest department, the landscape people, oh my God. See, the God is always there, remember. But the ambience created, the aura which is created, also comes from these terrace gardening concepts. And that is where we have to build the attitudes. We already told you all wars begin in the minds of men. It is there that we have to construct the defense of peace. The energy, the aura, okay, the temple, the church, the mosque, they all are going to use these sort of concepts. And now look at the interior of any five-star hotel. You see how they have designed. These are all live trees, they are not plastic trees, remember. And look how it accentuates the beauty and the ambience within this hotel or whatever hospital or anything. And look at this, we have already told you. See, suppose if a hospital is very clean and then you go inside, Okay, the patient gets a positive aura that he is going to recover. See, suppose, if you put a hospital as if it looks like a graveyard, lot of blood in and around, no ambience, any patient will lose the attitude and he may die of a heart attack there itself. So, therefore, gentlemen, the ambience is the one which creates. See, nobody is intelligent, okay, or nobody is very dull. It is the ambience, in psychology they call it as the G effect and the E effect. G is the genetics, okay, E is the environment. So to keep your environment steady, stable, all this terrace garden and ambience concept are there. Don't think it is very costly. They don't think that you have to hire a gardener and then you have to pay a huge amount of money for a gardener. Of course, we are paying, but you see the difference between a very beautiful flat and then an ordinary lower middle class flat. Okay, the ambience matters. The ambience triggers your interest. Your interest triggers your intelligence. Your intelligence triggers your achievement. So that is the chain of reaction. Okay, everybody knows that good cricketers are born, but great people, okay, like Sachin Tendulkar, okay, his mentor Sanjay Achrekar, or anybody, okay, who has created that ambience of cricket, or you see the football fever. Recently, it was over. See how much of craze for everything, ambience becomes important. See, look at this landscape. I'm just showing you one after another. It can be cactus, it can be anthuriums, it can be gerberas, okay, it can be dahlias. I'll show you one by one. It can be a simple palmetto Australian grass here. See, look at this hospital. I just showed that this is a hospital and it is not a hotel. See, anybody would like to get treated in this Pioneer International Hospital. Of course, thanks to many of the other hospitals, today as a CSR activity and as an important activity, many people are creating this ambience, the way they sit, the way they come. Vertical garden. This is another important area where IIHR also is working. You can get in touch with Dr. Sumangala, Dr. Naveen Kumar. They're all in our floriculture division. See, vertical garden is, see, instead of this wall keeping like this, okay, many times you cover the wall with tiles, even in your bathroom, people will have about 6 feet to 8 feet of very good tiles. Absolutely. Okay, that can be done on the interior because that is a bathroom. Suppose you have got a lot of high wall, you can develop these sort of greeneries or leafy, we say leafy floriculture. Okay, you can develop all these sort of uh, leafy plants and then give a look to it. And obviously, we have already told you that it is not only for looks, it is to increase the evapotranspiration, control the temperature, control the relative humidity. Okay, except in the night, you be a bit careful. Don't take my name because people would like to chill out in the night. Then they will say Dr. V.K. Jarrao did not allow, and he told in one of his lectures. So I don't want to get into any sort of controversy. Okay, people do parties and all that, but you should minimize the effect. And look at all this vertical garden, all the, even in leafy plants also, you have various colorful plants, shallow rooted. Okay, all these things you can definitely use. So, terrace garden, this is a slide from the Indian Institute of Horticulture Research. And look at how we have used all the grow bags here. This is in our greenhouse we have done, and Dr. Pichai Muthu has done similar things in his 30-40 commercial site. Okay, he stays very near the Sterling Park. Okay, this is one thing. So every urban dweller would love to have a green rooftop garden, but they might not know the science of it. You should have a perfect plan and investment, and you have to put lot of your personal labor, your interest. Don't think the terrace garden is going to be done by laborers. See, this is not any field agriculture or field horticulture. See, a terrace garden is for your passion, your interest. And many people, I see a lot of people, they are very, very passionate about doing things. What will you do if a person has no time? He's a software engineer. What passion can you have? So be careful. Urban dwellers love this. Okay. Terrace is a very huge area everywhere. in flats or in institutes or hospitals. Okay, terrace capacity, how whether you can drain off the excess water, whether you have access to sunlight, 50% is shade net, whether you have concrete box or you have grow bags, vertical garden, watering cans. So whether you are going to use soil or soilless media, in my opinion, you should use a soilless media like coco peat. Okay, because the moment you put soil, it will attract different organisms, and then the weight of a soil. See what can be done with 5 kilograms of cocoa peat. You will have to use 50 kilos of the soil, almost 10 times. So kindly don't do it. But of course, there are experts you can get in touch. So you can grow fruits, vegetables, flowers, medicinal herbs. See, medicinal herbs, for example, Rauwolfia serpentina for snake bite. Okay, you can have so many medicinal small plants which can help you. See, everybody wants kadi patta, right? Muraya koinigi. Okay, you want dhania, coriander. Okay, you want small flowers, lily or jasmine for your small puja. And everybody will have a tulsi plant, Ocimum sanctum. Okay, so never put Ficus bengalensis and Ficus religiosa. That's called the banyan trees. So caring of the plants also, obviously use mostly the kitchen waste. Okay, drip and other nutrients. So most probably what we do in a terrace garden is using waste to wealth. You should have an existing waste. Okay, okay, thrown away food, or sometimes when the food is left over, you offer it to the animals. At the same time, you can use it to your terrace garden as well. Okay, then we'll quickly go. For more visual appeal, your walls can be painted blue. Okay, you can give a very good attractive lighting. Okay, you cannot, if you have too yellow light, what will happen is, it is not good for soothing. See, normally, why in bar and restaurant they put a dim pink light, or a small blue light is already put in puja rooms and all that. That will give you melancholy. Melancholy means coolness of the mind. Normally we say Shani. Okay, Saturn, what is this stone? Sapphire, the blue stone. And Saturn gives you vairagya or melancholy. We say he reduces your desire. So therefore, sitting in a small blue background with some dim light, okay, and then you do meditation, obviously your mind is going to calm. These are all some of the attitudinal changes we try to bring through this terrace garden. Obviously, you should have benches to sit, so don't use wooden chairs or other thing. Dining table at the center for special dinner occasions. So when you have all these things, many times this is what we are missing even from home. See, today with the internet zamana and era, everybody sees the reels, they say internet, they see their mobile phone and eat. Okay, there was a long back a saying that a family which dines together, lives together, and grows together. But today the families don't dine together. That is one of the most big weakness, and therefore we wish that this terrace gardening or whatever little area you have, even in your small flat balcony you have, make the landscape and the ambience in such a way that the puja room will have a different ambience, the bedroom will have a different ambience. Okay, the reading room will have a different ambience. Among the violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, and red, okay, the study room should have yellow light. Okay, not too bright yellow. Okay, sodium is the element, when we do the flame test in chemistry, gives permanganate light. So blue light is given by some other. So therefore, if you want to do meditation and relax, have a blue ambience. Okay, if you want to have reading room, have an yellow ambience. Okay, if you want to dine together, and if of course I don't want to tell this, and the people why they put that pink light and red light, dim light in the bar and restaurant is to have that different ambience, which I am not going to tell in a public domain like this. So now, grow bags, I told you, cocoa peat about 2 tons. So you see the substrate. Instead of using 20 tons of soil, we can use only 2 tons of cocoa peat, which is lighter in nature, highly fermented, gives humic acid, okay, and the pH is around 7, very neutral pH. Seeds and planting material, obviously get your vegetables, herbs, flowers and fruits. Okay, we also have a nutrient solution called Arka Sasya Poshak. We have A and B. Arka Sasya Poshak A gives you NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus and potash. Okay, Arka Sasya Poshak 2, B gives you all the micronutrients, zinc, boron and others. So you can have a rose can, a hand spray, and you can also have neem oil, neem seed kernel extract, pongamia soap, panchagavya. So all this, a terrace garden can be established with a cost of around 25,000 rupees. Not much. I'm talking this about a 30-40 site terrace. Now, we have already given so many demonstrations in Bangalore, Mysore, okay. And then, even in the RKVY project, I told you that BBMP is behind IIHR. And I told you even in one of my RKVY project, developing Arkan Nutri Gardens for augmenting midday meal scheme was a very popular project. So in fact, I was given 60 lakh rupees to conduct demonstration in 3 schools. And today it has spread like wildfire in and around Karnataka. So very quickly we go ahead. So you can grow strawberry, papaya, pomegranate, banana, guava. Okay, you can have all this okra to tomato to amaranthus, palak, lettuce. You can have all these things. Okay, I told you ashwagandha, tulsi, very important. Shankapushpa, brahmi, the famous brahmi oil. Okay, mandukaparni, mints, guduchi, long pepper. Okay, patarchur, coleus, rosemary, stevia and aloe vera. These are all highly important. Okay, it will also reduce your pest and diseases. So many times people ask me in the flats, so what I should do? People, without scientific knowledge have used different crops which will attract snakes and it will attract all the mosquitoes. See, if we grow many of the crops which are listed here, it does not attract insects. In fact, it repels the insect. For example, marigold repels the insect. Ashwagandha. Okay, I told you about ashwagandha. I told you about another one, the Rauwolfia serpentina. It repels the snakes. See, even in and around flats, our gardens, see, it may be a very lush green grass. What will you do if 2-3 snakes are inside? Whether your children can play in that? I am sure. So therefore, be scientific. Get in touch with us or use my lecture today, which is anyway going to be recorded and put, and have a good terrace gardening. See, look at in our greenhouse, you see all the grow bags. In my experiments in the schools, I've used only grow bags. I don't use any soil or any. See, all these are cocoa peat. This is the broader green bag of 18 inches to grow amaranthus. The next is the 18 inches green bag to grow radish and some deep rooted, root vegetables. Okay, we have even grown sweet potato. Come on. So now I told you Arka Sasya Poshak A and B for soilless vegetable production. Entire nutrient is given by this liquid. So what you have to do is 1 liter of Arka Sasya Poshak, okay, at the rate of 5 ml per liter. 5 ml per liter means, okay, 1 bottle of Sasya Poshak can be used for 200 liters of water, almost, okay, 10 buckets of water. And then you put it in the rose can and then give it to all the school children. They have sprayed very nicely, including micronutrients. So we can have a different composition for different vegetables. So these liquid formulations are available at IIHR. Please come down and you can buy them. Okay. Okay. Arka Sasya Poshak Ras, we call it. Okay, for vegetable cultivation. I'll not go into the science part of it. Cocoa peat cultivation under balcony terrace is a good one. But, I also gave a lot of cocoa peat to our flats. But somehow, in some of the blocks in the terraces, they have used soil. So I've been telling these people, but, we can't force them. So they should switch to cocoa peat if they have to do a good landscaping in terrace garden in the flats. Okay, terrace garden, what are the things? You can have a tastier, healthy produce, fresh and clean, increases evapotranspiration, good oxygen. Okay. You can develop a mini park here. It absorbs a lot of heat. Okay, it is an insulator for the whole building, hot climate. See, many times when the sun is, when the temperatures rise, it also spoils the buildings. But a terrace gardening is going to reduce the temperature, put it around 25 degrees centigrade. And that is how the buildings will have a longer life. Normally, a building, the life is worth around 30 to 40 years. Afterwards, it should be demolished. So maybe we can push it up to 50 years. So supply nutritious greens, okay, maintain your space well, stay connected with nature, and obviously the carbon footprint. See, when a lot of carbon dioxide and greenhouse gases are getting emerged, okay, whether to petrol or through respiration or whatever it is, remember that the carbon dioxide and the greenhouse gases are going to erode the ozone layer in the stratosphere. And because of this eroding the stratosphere, ozone layer, the ultraviolet radiation is going to penetrate the earth, and that is where the global warming takes place. And because of global warming, all the ice and other things are melting, and because of this, we have the El Nino and El Nina effect. El Nino means drought, El Nina means flooding. See, this year is called as an El Nino year because we are facing drought. We have almost faced 42% of the drought. But still, now the rains came almost, it is Ashada Masa, and now we are entering the Varsha Ritu. August is the Varsha Ritu. Now the Grishma Ritu is in progress. So therefore, gentlemen, terrace gardening, suppose remember, the entire Bangalore is covered by terrace gardening and greenery. How beautiful. Already Bangalore is a garden city, very beautiful to look at. Okay, it is a commercial hub. Okay, it is a software hub. It is the AI hub. All those things are there. You can make it much more meaningful. Okay, roof gardening and terrace gardening. Roof gardening, maybe you use earthen pot. Terrace garden is also known as outdoor gardening. So roof gardening is for individuals. Terrace gardening is for big establishments like flats, hospitals, okay, temples, and so on and so forth. Okay, these are the grow bags. I told you we have grow bags like this also, the broader one, okay, for growing greens. Okay, you have the shorter one. Based on the diameter and the plant, we use a different grow bag. Look at the holes given here. That is for drainage. And I told you all the drained water must be linked with the rainwater harvesting units and pipes, so that very safely it will be going. And water should not be stagnated in any flat or building, because a stagnated water attracts mosquitoes, insects, and you will have more malaria and these sort of things. Please remember. So therefore, and that too, dengue fever is going to be very, very prominent. And don't tell me that you used your terrace gardening and then K Jayaraghavendra told it, and all of you fellows suffered from dengue and malaria. So be very careful while doing this. Grow bag. We have perlite. Okay, these are all coir pit, cocoa peat, vermiculture. All these commercial things are available. They are totally organic. And then even IIHR has many things. You can get in touch with us. Okay, vegetable seeds and tea seedlings. Look at this. How we grow. This is the brinjal plant. We grow them in the pro trace. Okay, after 15 days we transplant it. Okay, even biofertilizers, Jivamrutam by cow urine. Okay, Anona, Datura, Neem. Okay, so we ferment this urine. Remember, a urine cannot be cow urine, especially, which is basically having urea, NH2CONH2. So once when the urine is released, okay, it converts itself into toxic ammonia, because NH2CONH2 deteriorates, and that ammonia is going to be very, very toxic for the roots. Therefore, any Jivamrutam or Panchagavya or whatever it is, a paspobacteria, that is nothing but the vesicular or arbuscular mycorrhiza, they all should be fermented and put to qualify it as a biofertilizer. Please understand this. Waterproofing, I have already told you, the roof itself must be constructed. Earlier they were putting surki. Nowadays also we put surki, and then we have a waterproofing membrane, okay, which will not allow the water to enter the building, and then a protection layer, a drainage layer, a geotextile, And then later on the growing medium, I told you, you see how they are structured it, and obviously don't use soil, use coco peat. I've already told you. See, look here, plant matter, soil layer will be down, geotextile layer, root barrier. See, look at all this pro trace and how they are made. Draining cells. Everywhere, not, see, don't confuse terrace gardening with what a farmer does in his field. You are using and developing the greenery on a building, on a structure, on an RCC structure. Be very, very careful. And you should have at least 6 to 8 hours of direct sunlight. Okay, or some plants are going to be grown in partial shade, and some plants grow without sunlight. For example, cardamom loves shade. For example, tomato likes sunlight. So you cannot use different plants everywhere. So you should be very, very careful about this. And see here, you can use a poly house. Look at this shade net, how we have used grow bags. Use this. Why do you want to plant it on this terrace RCC? Don't do that. Okay, growing medium. I told you coco peat. It should just be firm to hold the seed or plant. We don't want any rock soil. We don't want black soil. Okay, illite, Montgomery light. Okay, lignite. Okay, all that alphys, all don't do all that. It should be porous to facilitate drainage of water, retain enough moisture, no contamination. The soil itself should not create some disease. It should have a neutral pH and neutral in reaction, and do not denature on sterilization. It should be very, very important about coco peat. Okay, I've already told you everywhere this green mulching sheet is going to be put there with a 4 into 4 meters on the floor to avoid wetting of the floor. Floor should not be wet. Okay, so all the preparation of media we have already told, mixed biofertilizer, fungicide. Okay, after 7 to 8 days of decomposition. Okay, now it is ready for planting. Transplanting, I've already told you, look at this. These are all some brinjal and tomato plants. Okay. After 30 to 35 days of this, see, a tomato crop is going to be there only for 90 days. So 35 days it is in the pro tray. So it will be there hardly in the grow bag for only about 30, 40 days. Then it can start harvesting. So only bendi, cluster bean, or and radish are directly sown. Rest are all transplanted. We must be very careful. So look at the vegetables. All this will, even capsicums they have grown. Okay, look at this. And bendi, beetroot also, I told you we use the beetroot and radish. We use that longer grow bag, not the broader one. Turmeric also we have grown. Coriander, your dhania. Okay, every day you use it for giving tadka. Okay. So, if at all you are using the soil, I don't recommend you to use it. 2 parts of red soil, 1 part of sand, 1 part of compost. So sand is put for better, drainage, and then it should drain out the water. Water should not be stagnated in around the roots. Okay. Anyway, you can use even soil, provided you have that much of place, and then it should harbor microorganism. Okay, then we should do all that. And look at, we have grown dragon fruit by what to talk. Okay, dwarf guava varieties, orange, lemon, mango. Okay, figs also, strawberry, star fruit. Now what you get in this Ganesha Puja, the star fruit. Okay, it is, what is it called? Fine. So all these are grown, papayas, everything. Everywhere there is a pot, there is a grow bag. Nothing is on the soil. This is what some people are doing the mistake. Watering, you use a rose can, okay, or use a drip irrigation also. Sprinkler can be used, provided it does not wet the building. See, this is Dr. Pichai Muthu. I told you, he's my colleague. And look how this person has done on a 30-40 site. See, this photograph is taken. He has used only grow bags, coco peat. He has not used any soil. This is exactly what the Vadamalai group, when I talked with Shanmugapriya madam, we said we will have a podcast of Dr. Pichai Muthu, and then no, right now he doesn't have a crop. So he said he's going to transplant it this month, and maybe in another 1 month for the Vadamalai group, I'll be doing a podcast. So that is Pichai Muthu. We saw him. Hydrogel. Hydrogels are actually small gel-like structures which will start holding more water. So therefore we use small hydrogel also. Okay, so that the water will be retained in the cocoa pit, it will not drain so fast, and the evapotranspiration from the root rhizosphere or the root system is going to be increased. And then you need not irrigate it every day or every week. So you can delay the irrigation. That is the funda here, fundamentals. So compost, we have already told you. Manuring, see how Dr. Pichaimutu uses all his vegetable waste, and he has got a separate pot to prepare this vermicompost. My goodness, even as a principal scientist, Pichaimutu and his family are having a lot of interest, patience. I should really place on record my appreciation and thanks to him. Now, stacking. See, many of these hanging vegetables like ridge gourd, okay, even tomato also, it requires a stocking. That means you have to give a support. Either you tie a GI wire, galvanized iron wire, or you give some staking sticks so that the drooping vegetables, the weight itself should not tear, or the fruit should not come out. Then obviously weed control, we do hand hoeing and weeding regularly. It has to be done. Now you can imagine, suppose you have a terrace garden in your home, how much of labor is going to take. And courtesy Dr. Pichai Muthu, most of these photographs are taken from his 30-40 terrace. Okay, pest control, obviously aphids are there, thrips are there, mealybugs are there. Okay, we can simply spray garlic, ginger and chili extract, which is a very good pesticide. Thank you very much. So now, how to prepare garlic, ginger and chili extract. Just like you have this garlic ginger paste which you use in your biryani and all that, 18 grams of garlic, 9 grams of chili and 9 grams of ginger. Okay, you make a paste of this, okay, like this, and then you dissolve, three pastes are dissolved in 1 liter of water. So that means what? Around 18 grams of the paste is going to be dissolved in 1 liter of water. The mixture is stirred well with 2 tablespoons of khadi soap solution. Why soap solution? The soap solution will act as a sticker. That means it will stick on the plant. Otherwise, what will happen? During evapotranspiration, they will all be lost and the insect can attack. That is the fundamental. It is filtered and then sprayed. Sometimes cow dung extract, 100 grams of cow dung, 1 liter of water. Okay, filter it. Add 500 ml of water to the filter and again filter with the same cloth. So you can use this cow dung extract also as an insecticide. Very important. I told you don't use cow urine. That has to be fermented anaerobically. See, here we have an STP. Our STP is unfortunately aerobic fermentation. Okay, with the aerobic fermentation of sewage treatment plant, we cannot use it for irrigation. I've been telling because I was in the committee from day one. When we use anaerobic fermentation, an STP sewage treatment plant, even with anaerobic fermentation, when I use anaerobic fermentation, very safely I could have used that water to our gardens. But now it has to be released elsewhere. We cannot use it in the garden. Of course, I don't blame people because some little science between aerobic fermentation and anaerobic fermentation they should know. Okay, harvesting. Vegetables should be harvested at the peak of maturity. You can have many pickings. Okay, leafy vegetables will be harvested after 40 days. Okay, a leafy vegetable, if it is harvested when it is not tender, serves no purpose. Root vegetables should be pulled out when mature. I told you radish, carrot. So yield also, we have got plenty of yields. Okay, 3 bags of brinjal will give you 4.5 kilos of yield. So quite a good bundle you can make. Okay, and then you can do all these things. Roof garden, I have told you how to do it. Okay, containers, we have already told you. Plastic barrels and even old boxes by crates. People may have all these old buckets, broken buckets. Use them. No problem. You need not buy a new pot. Some bucket has become a hole. It is very good. You can use as a container and see how they have grown differently. Okay, aloe vera, medicinal solanum, Solanum virum. Solanum is a brinjal family. Medicinal solanum. Solanum virum means it is used in the anti-fertility drug. Okay, we have mint, we have basil. Basil is nothing but your tulsi. Okay, then bringraj, ajwain. Okay, we had even this dodapatre. We used to make what is called as tambuli. We use it with curd and eat it. These are all some very important things which our ancestors had used. Everybody will not take paracetamol or ibuprofen. Okay. Trees also, small, shallow rooted trees. Mandarai, okay, Bahunia purpurea gives blue flowers. Pagoda tree, Plumeria alba, it gives this ice cream colored flowers. Bottle brush, Callistemon lanceolatus, okay. Cat's tail, Acalifa, December poo, Barlaria cristata, blue color. Sempura, the hibiscus rosa sinensis. Okay, then Idli poo, Ixora coccinea, Lantana camera. Lantana camera is, of course, it's called as a weed. Okay, but still Lantana camera is used in ornament also. Mallige poo, Jasminum glandiflorum. You have got 3 to 4 types of jasminum. Okay, we have Gundumalli Vandu Rupai, and then we have Ambura Mallige, we have Jaji Mallige, Gundu Mallige. So these three are there. And mostly Jaji Mallige, okay, it has got a better scent and it has got a better aroma. So people use the shrubs. Okay, then we have Musanda, okay, we have this Tacoma stance. Then Poinsettia pulcherrima, Poinsettia pulcherrima is this, that red seeds what you get. Okay, that's called Poinsettia pulcherrima. You can find a lot of this in IASC. When I was a child, I used to collect the seeds of this. It's called Gulaganji or whatever. We used to play with that. That's called Poinsettia pulcherrima. Okay, and look how it is made on the shade net also is used. Okay, you can construct shade net. This is, I think, this Pichemuthu's flat only. I think we should give credit to him. How they made the shade net and then how he used the grow bag. Okay, how anybody in some other house. Okay, how a vertical garden, how they have placed different vertical, and look at how the pipes are growing, and they have even established what is called as a drip irrigation system. And look how a big thing, they have made holes like this. This is all space utilization. Remember, all terrace gardening is about space utilization. We should be more intelligent. See how this is done. They have used even old bottles. See here, old bottles, they cut a hole, fill water, okay, and make small holes, continuous irrigation. These are all the, jugaad we say in Hindi. Jugaad means, finding out a technology yourself. It's called jugaad in Hindi. See how nicely they have done it here. Grow bags, pots. Or a banana plant with all full banana. Only this is hardly 3 feet pot. Yeah, you will get the shock of your life. Roof garden, we have already told you. I don't want to go. It started in Mesopotamia, all that, even in and around pyramids, hanging gardens of Babylonia. In fact, when the Babylonia, okay, the famous song, By the Rivers of Babylon, the Bonium song, when you remember Zion. Okay, all the Persians, even before Christ, they have done it. And in fact, we also call it as the Mughal garden. Okay, why before Christ is the sons of Abraham, okay, Abraham became that Ismail and, okay, so that is how all the Islam and the Christianity started, and all the gardens do exist even in the history. Okay, see this, Middle Ages, Renaissance, everywhere. Okay, I told you all this waterproof. I'll quickly go. Liners are there everywhere. Even in the water harvesting seepage tanks. Okay, when you do rainwater harvesting, even in flat or outside, you should have this polythene layer. Okay, so that the water will not seep into the soil and create problem. Okay, This is how about 6 layers are there before the plant is going to be established on the roof. Be very, very careful. These are all, even our flats look like this. See here the layers. I don't want to go into the detail. I want to quickly, what a thing does is, when you do a roof garden, the precipitation increases, the evaporation increases, and transpiration increases. So that is called evaporation plus transpiration is called evapotranspiration. I took a dry land farming course. Dr. Havangi was my teacher. So these are all some basics of agriculture, that why we require greenery to reduce the greenhouse gases, okay, to reduce the effects of El Nino, to avoid the ozone layer getting depleted in the stratosphere, and then the ultraviolet radiation not entering the earth and create global warming. That is the fundamental, and obviously even in terrace gardening, that is going to be very, very heavily enhanced, and your temperature will be almost 25 degrees even outside. It will be as good that when you sit in a terrace garden, you are sitting under an AC. That sort of atmosphere is there. So all these things are there. Okay, fine. Okay, I'll tell you. So disadvantages, structural limitation, maybe your RCC is not going to allow. Installation and maintenance costs are high. See, because in a flat system, everything the association has to take care. And individuals don't make groups called as horticulture group or terrace gardening group, and they don't do any Ramadan or out of interest. For everything, they catch hold of the president and say, sir, you please do it. Okay, susceptible to damage and leakage, the limited number of plants, increase in the weight load on the structure. So these are all some, gentlemen. So I stop at this. I can go on and on. I'll share. There are about 200 slides. Okay, I'll just quickly browse through, and Rajini ma'am is going to give you this, create a wonderful place. Okay, I have already explained all these things. Create a good ambience. Okay, all these are there for you. So I stop sharing the screen, and then I end the presentation here. That's it from my
Okay.
side, and then.
Thank you, sir, for a very detailed presentation as always. So I will take up some questions now. Before that, I would like to check with Mr. Deepak if he has any questions he can ask.
Yes, gentlemen. The session, Dr. Rao, is open for discussion.
Hi, good afternoon, sir.
I see Deepak Bahal. Yeah,
Yeah,
you can
Yes.
ask.
Hi, good afternoon, sir. How are you?
Yeah, can you be a bit louder, sir?
I'm saying hi, good afternoon, sir. How are you?
I'm fine, Bal. I hope I have struck the right point. Please tell,
Yes,
sir.
yes. Yeah, I heard you talking about cocoa peat. Okay,
Yeah.
so we are like basically into the production of orchid plants.
Ah.
So, yeah, as I suppose that you must be aware that orchids are the kind of plants which are not
No,
grown
can you be
in
a bit
soil.
louder, sir? I'm not
Yeah.
hearing you.
Okay. Maybe there is some issue.
Wait, yeah.
Okay.
You can use a proper
No.
headphone. Mr.
I
Deepak.
increased my volume. Now you
Yeah,
speak, sir.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, as you are already aware that like orchids, they are not grown in proper soil, other than mud and all those things. So
Yeah.
for this, cocoa peat is very much required. So
Yeah.
what would you recommend to the people who are willing to do terrace farming? Should they also be using they should be planting what is it, orchid plants on their terrace?
No. Okay, see, one thing is terrace garden and okay, in fact, orchids and anthuriums, even if you come to IIHR, we don't grow it in the open field. Please understand. We use a protected cultivation. We have a center of protected cultivation. All high value crops are we are doing soilless cultivation with cocoa peat. We don't use soil. See, for example, orchids and anthuriums are grown in the northeast. Okay, we have a national research center on orchids in the northeast. So I don't advise anybody to grow orchids and anthuriums in the open field. They have to use cocoa peat, which is light in weight and very good in character. I told you, instead of 20 tons of soil, I can use only 2 tons of coco peat. So that means I am reducing my weight by 1/10. And furthermore, I can use grow bags. I can use old plastic buckets. So I need not damage my terrace structure or my protected cultivation greenhouse or polyhouse structure. So that is where the rationality of a grower or a farmer is going to come. All high value crops, IAHR recommends. Now we are telling people, even farmers also. See, I was in a place called Brahmadevarahalli where my first posting in 1987, I was a manager. People were, Nagamangala is known for vegetables. But today you go from Nagamangala to Mysore, that road where me and my wife regularly used to go. It is full of polyhouses. Nobody uses land to grow. Everybody is using grow bag. Their productions has increased twofold, threefold, incomes have increased and they have become smarter. So therefore, terrace gardening, coco peat, orchid and anthurium, they are moving into smart horticulture, AI based horticulture. So everything is not the drudgery based hard agriculture. So today, everywhere, as Mr. Behel has pointed out, we are moving from drudgery oriented agriculture and horticulture to smart AI based sensor controlled horticulture. Have I answered you, Behel sir?
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Asha, there's one more thing, sir. Don't mind it, but there's one more question because you're explaining things so nicely. I'm like a bit inquisitive to understand more about it in detail.
Tell me, Behel.
So,
I hope. No, I hope
we, I,
Rajini ma'am gives us the time. Okay, she has to
sure,
give time.
sure, sure.
Okay.
Could you throw a little bit of light on which pesticide brand would you recommend to be good? Is Imamcertin benzoate 5% WG of present brand good according to you? And weedicide glyphosate 71% SG of ruler brand, are they
Yeah.
good? Are they good? Have you
No. See, I've already mentioned. See, I am not saying I am an organic buff because after 35 years in ICR, I get a huge pension and I'm living a good life. See, as far as possible, I told you that garlic, ginger, and the other pit. Okay, 9 gram, 9 gram, 18 gram. Okay, so therefore use as much as possible the organic formulation. You use the neem cake. Okay, you use the neem seed kernel extract. Okay, we say 2% neem seed kernel extract, neem oil, neem powder. They are all natural pesticides. Or use panchagavya. I told you cow urine. Okay, anaerobically fermented, plus datura leaves, Annona squamosa leaves, okay, neem leaves, and I think there is one more, that is tulsi leaves. All are crushed together and they put it in this anaerobically fermented urine and create a solution of 1 bottle. With 1 liter bottle of this particular panchagavya, okay, or panchamrit, okay, you can create 200 liters. Okay, 1 bottle for every 40 liters formulation. So 200 liters is required for 1 acre. But here we don't calculate per acre. We calculate per plant or per grow bag or per poly house, which will have about 200 plants. So therefore, what I suggest is, for example, a weedicide like 2,4-D, okay, dioxy, this one, okay, or we say gamexine, whatever. See, if you use many of these weedicides, it can kill the other plants. That's why we call it as Roundup. That means ra- people are breeding varieties, especially Monsanto, called as Roundup. Even if you spray the weedicide, only weed will be killed, but the main crop will be saved. But in a terrace garden, I do not advocate either using urea, potash, or anything. Use organic products, use vesicular arbuscular mycorrhiza, use acetobacter, use rhizobium, use coco peat, use panchagavya, okay, panchamrit, okay, use this garlic, neem, and chili paste. See, these are all naturally occurring. And even our forefathers, they were very, very, concerned about this cow urine, both in the temples and both in the farmers. See, don't think temples did not know this. All our agriculture knowledge is in Atharvana Veda. Okay, Rigveda is about pujas, Yajurveda is about all armory and yuddha. Okay, then Samaveda is all about your agri business. Atharvana Veda is all about our agri and horticulture universities which are established. So therefore, be natural, okay, be very, very organic and be close to the nature. Never put all these things, especially anthuriums and orchids, what you are talking, are very, very high value crop. You don't get an anthurium plant less than 500 rupees. I don't know, even somehow I get one or two free of cost from IAHR, but others have to shell down 500 to 600 rupees. Have I answered you, Behel Saab?
Oh, wonderful, sir. One last question that I'd like to ask you because
No,
you
no,
are
Rajini ma'am has to permit you, not me. Okay, please ask.
Madam will
I don't know,
definitely
madam will
cooperate.
beat both of us. Okay.
Mr. Deepak, you have to first tell him you are from Darjeeling
No,
Gardens.
no,
Achacha,
He's
this is
talking
it is
about
good. It is
no,
good.
no,
one of
Asking
the
something.
flowers.
no,
No,
this
no,
Behel boy is from Darjeeling. That's why he's asking so many questions. Okay, tell me, sir.
No, the
Okay.
company name I'm talking about.
Darjeeling Gardens Private Limited, sir.
Okay, no problem. That is not outside us. Okay.
Okay.
Because
So,
I was in Bagdogra, I was in that place. You need not worry.
okay.
Tell me, sir.
Sir, one thing what I'd like to ask you is one more thing is that if you at this point of age, if you get a chance like to grow, to select either of one thing, either to grow either roses, gerbera, or orchids, which one would you select?
Ore Behalji, this is such a general knowledge question. Yeah, it does not require a degree like you or a postdoctoral like me. Everybody will go for orchids. Everybody goes for high value crops. Who will grow rose? See, I may be a philosopher inside, but I am a commercial businessman outside. And I am an agri scientist. I will grow commercially viable, high value crops. That's all. The answer is there. Never grow gerbera and all just for the sake of it. Grow first preference orchids, second preference anthuriums, and then only all these other chota mota flowers will come. Thank you. Have I answered you, Behel Saab?
Great, sir. Great. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, now Rajini ma'am is waiting, otherwise she
Yeah.
will beat me now.
No. Okay. I'll take up some questions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What are the biggest myths about terrace gardening that discourage people from starting?
See, people, I'm sorry, the half knowledge, I think Behel is also listening. Behelji, don't go away. You are my good audience. Okay. See, people are thinking that terrace gardening will be done by somebody. No, there is a very famous quotation. Okay. Everybody thought that somebody will do the work, and somebody thought that nobody will do the work, and finally nobody did it, and they blamed everybody. So, terrace garden is a passion-oriented gardening. It is a passion-oriented horticulture or agriculture. If you don't invest time, it is like having children and not grooming them to become very good citizens. It is as good as that. People don't invest time. Therefore, terrace garden, whether you are in a flat system or you are in an individual house, next time when you come, we are doing podcast with Dr. Pichai Muthu. I will interview his family. They will tell you how many hours they spend. Even this Behel boy, maybe in Mussoorie and Darjeeling, it is not a joke to develop one small plant of orchids. It takes time. Who has the time? Who has the patience? Do you mean to say software engineers have the time? Nobody has time. People are running from pillar to post, morning till evening. Therefore, those entrepreneurs, those farmers, those families, and those greenhouse and polyhouse, startups, which can invest enormous amount of time, quality time, scientific time, they alone should venture here and not think that this is ragi or some other crop. Simply you put it and throw it. So that sort of negligence will not work in terrace gardening. Thank you.
Right. Okay. And can terrace garden produce enough vegetables and fruits to meet a family's daily needs?
See, I told you, Dr. Pichai Muthu, I will give you his number. He has a 30-40 site in very near that, what is it? Hebbal Kempapura, his house. In 30-40 site, this person has built 2 floors. Ground floor is parking, first floor, second floor house, and on the third floor, the terrace, he grows his own vegetables, fruits for his family. He does not buy. He is a family of 3 people. He, his wife, and he has a son. So, in a 30-40 site, he has grown. So now you may ask the second question. It will be cheaper for him if you calculate his labor and his wife's time and Dr. Pichai Muthu is a principal scientist time. Here, time is not the consideration. See, we show love to our children. We groom them. You cannot calculate the opportunity cost of loving our kids, loving our farm, loving our animals, loving our terrace garden. Thank you.
Okay. What are the best vegetables, fruits, and herbs for beginners in terrace gardening?
See, I've already given the list there. Okay, go for Ravelfia serpentina. Okay, go for all the medicinal crops. For small ailments, you can use them. Tulsi, a must. Okay, some small little neem is a must. Okay, I told you that Dotpatre, I'm not getting the scientific name. Some small things which you can use it in your chutney and your recipes. Obviously, Muraya konigi, dhania, that is coriander leaves. Okay, and then all these basic things you require for a kitchen to give your tadka, then recycling all your kitchen waste. Okay, tomato, brinjal, and onion, radish, carrot. So these are the normal pota vegetables. What is it? Potato, tomato, that's called the pota vegetable. So basic things you can always grow. Okay, even capsicum I've shown you people are growing. So except you cannot grow peas. Okay, and then there are, we say peas and another one is people want paneer, peas and capsicum. These 3 things are highly consumed in society. So 90% of your home requirement you can grow in this terrace gardening of a 30-40 site.
Okay. Okay. And how can gardeners ensure healthy soil and proper nutrition for plants grown in containers?
No, what is it?
How can gardeners ensure healthy soil and proper nutrition for plants grown in containers?
See, now, first of all, I told you, in Concord Spring Meadows, which has 356 flats, we have a gardener, but the gardener is not a PhD in agriculture or horticulture. Please. So every now and then they ask me, and then I feel why I should interfere in these people, because even if you grow vegetables and trees, okay, we cannot distribute those tomatoes to all the 356. So we have grown only some flowers, okay, some little medicinal crops, and then little flowers just for beauty and ambience. So a terrace garden done in a hospital is different. A terrace garden done in a flat system is different. A terrace garden done in a temple is different. In temple, we are doing terrace garden and all these principles in the Mantralaya Mutt, because we are the relatives of that Mantralaya Mutt Swamiji. The present Swamiji is my cousin brother. So there, many of my wife's relatives, they are all gardeners. And they are all horticulture people. They are developing. So what does a temple require? It requires jasmine, it requires flowers, it requires tulsi. So whatever is our ethnic consideration, only those crops are put so that the pilgrimage people, the devotees get the ambience, they get flowers to offer to the Almighty or the Lord. So I told you about the Kartika Vanabhojana. I told you an example. So such things are kept. Gardeners cannot do that. Gardeners should not do it until you train the gardener. I told you terrace gardening is not a labor hiring exercise. You have to contribute your own strength, might, time, and family labor.
Okay. And how can water consumption be minimized through drip irrigation, mulching, and rainwater harvesting?
Absolutely. This is the question. Rajni ma'am, you should be given another PhD here. See, now already They are doing rainwater harvesting in most of the urban areas. Even in small houses also there is a rainwater harvesting. The rainwater harvested is going to that borewell seepage, or people even collect water. Okay, that water is collected separately. Very beautifully it can be used for irrigating the so-called terrace garden. Absolutely, this is a brilliant question, and I want viewers to take note of this, especially this Behel boy who is here. Yeah.
Okay. And what precautions should be taken regarding roof load, waterproofing, and drainage before starting a terrace garden?
Absolutely well said. And don't quote my name. My builder, I don't know whether what degree he has. This fellow has put lot of soil on the first floor terrace, and he has put some champak trees, Sampige mara, and that started proliferating the roots. Okay, that champak tree has a very big taproot system, very hard root. I told you we should not put plants like champak, Ficus bengalensis, Ficus religiosa, which are our banyan trees. They will destroy your RCC structure. And now, my wife is the president of this Concord Spring Meadows Association. She took a decision to remove those plants. There was a big hue and cry. Oh, they are spoiling our ambience. Then she told, no, whatever decision they take is scientific. You should not put soil, you should not spoil the structure. All terrace garden, vertical garden, or anything should only beautify the thing without damaging the original structure. Okay, it is somebody trying to use a lipstick and a makeup. You use any of these things, it should not spoil your skin and health. Similarly, in terrace gardening or rooftop gardening, you should not spoil the structure. You should use the existing rainwater. Or if anaerobic fermentation is done, you can use that STP water also. But be careful, STP water will have more microorganisms. It can create more diseases, and especially if it is aerobically fermented. Never use it. So rainwater harvested can be very, very safely used, and as far as possible, organically created pesticides. Okay, I told you all this chili, okay, then garlic, and one more. Okay, so all these things have to be used very judiciously.
Okay. Next question is about kitchen waste. How can composting kitchen waste improve terrace gardening while reducing household waste?
See, now even my wife has it in the balcony. We have a grow bag, okay, which is full of cocoa peat. So every day, whatever kitchen waste or leftovers, she dumps it there, turns that cocoa peat here and there. So fermentation, and even we have this ARCA AMC, ARCA microbial fertilizers and ARCA microbial consortia, which will enhance all this decomposing. A little bit of it you put it, you get excellent manure. In fact, from each house, every weekly once, I can give you 2 grow bags worth 50 kilos of very good manure. So if 356 houses are there, each fellow gives 50 kilos. How much we can actually run a commercial establishment? We can create manure. So every day you have to do turning. You should not dump and make it rot. It should ferment. I told you it should undergo, like composting, it should undergo anaerobic fermentation. Very important.
Okay. And how can AI, IoT sensors, and smart irrigation systems be integrated into terrace gardening to optimize water use, nutrient management, and plant health while keeping the system affordable for households?
Absolutely brilliant question. This was asked in the ARS exam this time. Many of my students did not write. So therefore, those fellows failed in ARS exam. We have a project called as Bharat Vistar. Vistar means virtual integration of all the technological resources in agriculture. See now, for example, there are so many. I will feed all my terrace gardening knowledge, like the lecture I took now. Like that, there are millions of lectures for each crop. for each terrace garden. For each problem, there are solutions in the artificial intelligence, whether Claudette or whatever you will name it, or Meta or anything. So now I put so many light sensors in and around the terrace garden, okay, even during the drip irrigation, which will check the moisture levels of each plant, the relative humidity. So it will go on giving the feedback to the AI, and the AI will generate the knowledge, and then some human being has to take action, because we don't have an automated system of irrigation, because that's going to be costly. See, even in the poly houses also, what we do is we control the relative humidity, we control the temperature, we control the sunlight intensity, we control the sunlight angle. All those things are done in a poly house. Such things can be easily integrated to reduce the human intervention, the human labor. In spite of all these things, keeping aware and abreast with the artificial intelligence is a must, whether you are a gardener or you are a PhD or you are a scientist or you are anybody. So the integration, execution, planning is of utmost importance in terrace gardening also. Thank you.
Okay, so now we have the last question. As a scientist who has worked extensively in horticulture, what are the 3 most important recommendations you would give to urban families who want to start a successful terrace garden?
Absolutely, this is a very beautiful question. Why only urban farming? I don't see. You are in a village, okay, you are in a city, you are in Shivaji Nagar, XYZ. Whether you are in a hospital, you are in a temple, you are in a flat, you are in a village house, everybody should have this terrace gardening or in and around where they are there to grow. See, for example, we require tulsi leaves for puja, we require some flowers for puja, or somebody else requires some dhania for tadka. They want muraya koinigi for giving tadka. Everything you have to grow. You should not bring dhania, muraya koinigi, kadi patta, all these things from market. Okay. And of course, now the supply chain is very nice in cities. But if you go to a Mofussil area, even bringing vegetables is hell. See, now I still remember about 50 years back. See, my father was a professor at IASC, and the Bangalore had not developed so much. So what my mother used to do, just for some dhania leaves, kotamri soppu, she will send my father, who is such a big man, to bring the 25 paisa dhania leaves. So my father used to get irritated. He used to say, can't you tell once and for all, for bringing kadi patta, you are sending me outside. For bringing dhania leaves, you are sending me outside. Why don't you plan? Of course, my father liked my mother. He did not scold much. Had it been somebody else, you should become self-sufficient in small, small things. May not be like Dr. Pichai Muthu. He's a big shot. He gives a lot of time. He's a vegetable scientist also in IIHR. He can do it. For example, everybody may not be able to give time. So there is nothing like urban, peri-urban or a village. Everybody should, in and around, apply the concept of terrace gardening or vertical farming or rooftop gardening for their own benefit, and to have greenery all around the globe to reduce the greenhouse gases, especially the emissions which are coming, and the depletion of ozone layer brings in ultraviolet radiation and global warming takes place. So in the ultimate goal, terrace garden helps. It is like small efforts by millions of people which will develop into a million campaign. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, sir. So thank you very much. So now we have come to end of question round. On behalf of agricultureinformation.com, we like to thank you for a detailed presentation as always and explaining all the detail in depth. So we'll be ending this meeting now.
Okay, thank you very much. I stop sharing and I wish you
Sure,
all
sir.
the best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay.